Women's History Month. This year's theme is Women Providing Healing, Promoting. Please into the country. Place your right hand over your heart, ready to give. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the Christian flag and to the Savior, for to whom it stands, one Savior, crucified, buried, risen, and is coming again to provide salvation to all who believe. I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path, and a light for my heart. Please join us in singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside you and guide you through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairies to the ocean, like the crow. God bless America, I hope to God bless America, I hope to Please join us in singing Here I Am to Work. Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that makes this heart adore you. Home of the lights stand with you. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for love's sake became born. So here I am Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. So here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see. Please watch the following video.
You may be wondering why we celebrate women's history. Well, one reason is because most of the time, history is really his story. Over the years, much of history has been written by men, about men, and for men. In fact, about half the people in the world are women. But at the moment, less than 1% of written history is about women. That's a big difference. But it makes sense because in many subjects, we learn more about the accomplishments of men than women. In American history,
the Founding Fathers. These men built and created America.
The Founding Fathers are important. But what about the Founding Mothers, who also helped create and build America? Inventors?
The Wright brothers. These men invented the first successful airplane.
Yes, but what about the great inventions made by women? Civil rights?
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. These men led the civil rights movement.
But hundreds of women also led the way. This picture of America is his story, but his story is not the whole story. For every history-making man, there is at least one history-making woman. That's why it's important to also learn her story. In March of 1982, America celebrated the first Women's History Week, which later became Women's History Month, a time to celebrate the amazing things women have done and continue to do in America. Learning about and celebrating these women all year long helps us to see the whole story of history. It shows girls and boys that women are just as strong, smart, and brave as men. It also reminds us, once we add her story to his story, together we can learn our story.
Women's History Month is a dedicated month to reflect on the often overlooked contributions of women to United States history. From Abigail Adams to Susan B. Anthony to Sojourner Truth to Rosa Parks, the timeline of women's history milestone stretches back to the foundings of the United States. The actual celebration of Women's History Month grew out a week-long celebration of women's contributions to culture, history, and society, organized by the School District of Sonoma, California in 1978. Presentations were given at dozens of schools, hundreds of students participated in the Real Women's Essay Contest, and parade was held downtown Santa Rosa. A few years later, the idea had caught on within communities, school districts, and organizations across the country. In 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued the first presidential proclamation declaring the week of March 8th as a National Women's History Week. The U.S. Congress followed suit the next year, passing a resolution establishing a national celebration. 6 years later, the National Women's History Project successfully petitioned Congress to expand the event to the entire month of March. Many women have changed history. Our class has decided to focus on 6 women in history, from the Bible to present day. I would like to be remembered as a person who wanted to be free, so other people would also be free. Rosa Parks.
Ruth was a Moab woman who married a Judean man. After her husband died, she did not return to her family. She stayed with her mother-in-law, adopting the ways of her new family and accepting God into her life. Where you go, I will go. Where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die. There I will be buried. Ruth 1, verse 16 through 17. Ruth is a symbol of loyalty and devotion.
At the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can.
Harriet Tubman was born around 1822 in Maryland. Harriet Tubman was an American abolitionist and a political activist. Born into slavery, she became known as the Moses of her people. Tubman escaped and helped others gain their freedom as a conductor of the Underground Railroad. She made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 enslaved people, including family and friends, using the network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses. Tubman also served as a scout, a spy, and a guerrilla soldier and nurse for the Union Army during the Civil War. She is considered the first African American woman to serve in the military.
When women must try to do things as men has tried, when they fail, their failure must be but a challenge to others. Amelia Earhart. Elizabeth Blackwell was born on February 3, 1821 in England. Her family moved to the United States and opened a boarding school in their home after her father died. Elizabeth worked to earn money for medical school. She was accepted at New York's Geneva Medical College, where she became the first female medical student in the U.S. history. She graduated with top honors. Patients did not trust a female doctor, so she opened a free infirmary for the poor and later opened a hospital. For the rest of her life, Elizabeth treated poor women and children and was a champion of women's rights. Feminism isn't about being strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength. G.D. Anderson.
Althea Gibson was born on August 25, 1927 in South Carolina and was an American tennis player and professional golfer. She was the first African American tennis player to win the French Wimbledon and U.S. Open singles championship. No matter what accomplishments you make, somebody helped you. Althea Gibson.
Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. Madam C.J. Walker.
Many women have influenced different cultures and ideas. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, while not being the first Supreme Court justice, was the first Jewish one, as well as being a huge voice for race and gender equality. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was born March 15, 1933, in Brooklyn, New York. In 1959, Ginsburg graduated from Columbia Law School at the top of her class. She was appointed to the Supreme Court in 1993. In one case, she argued and won U.S. versus Virginia, which challenged Virginia Military Institute's freedom to exclude women from admission merely because they were women. In another, she argued a case disputing pay discrimination between women and their male colleagues performing the same job. Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
If you don't see a clear path for what you want, sometimes you have to make it yourself. Mindy Kaling.
Malala Yousafzai is a Pakistani education advocate who, at the age of 17 in 2014, became the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize after surviving an assassination attempted by the Taliban. One child, one teacher, one pen, and one book can change the world.
These are just a few women who shaped our history. Thank you.
Please join us in singing Spirit of Gentleness. Please pray for the following.
For the WLS students and their families, faculty, and church.
For the 8th grade students as they prepare for the end of the year entering high school.
For the people of Ukraine, that the conflict end as soon as possible.
For all people suffering from COVID, may the new variant not affect us too severely, especially as students begin spring break.
Please bring up offering and join us in singing Sanctuary.
You can just put it on the piano. You can put it on the piano.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Please bow your head for the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses,
as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom, the power, the glory, are yours now and forever. Amen.
Mrs. Hahn will announce this week's kindness catchers.
Good morning. We have quite a few today. The first one is for Aviva in Arlington from Ms. Gomez for helping keep the classroom clean after school. Next one is for Ethan in second grade from Mrs. M, always holding the door open for his teacher and classmates. The next one is for Mimi and Grayson from Mrs. M for sharing their scissors with their friends when they didn't have any. And the next one is for Arlie from Mrs. M for helping Ava with her math project. Then to Nick, Brooke, and Greg from Mrs. DiMedio, thank you for putting away board games. And then to Joseph A in third grade from Mrs. Tyner for helping Kennedy pick up the pen she dropped even though he sits on the opposite side of the room. Then to the entire sixth grade for Mrs. Tyner for coming up with rules to create a respectful classroom. To 6th, 7th, and 8th grade from Mrs. Packman for helping with the bulletin boards and helping to get ready for open house. To Hanzo, Taryn, and DK from Ms. Packman, thank you for tucking in chairs for students who forgot. And then the last one is to Lydia E. from Mrs. Packman for designing their Fruit of the Spirit bulletin board.
We would like to celebrate this week's birthdays. To Noah W. Jalen W. Is that it? Woo! Jade B. Rachel D. Kendall R. 4th grade. And that's it.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. The Lord be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace.
Announcements will be made after the closing hymn. Please join us in singing I'm Trading My Sorrows.
I'm trading my sorrows. I'm trading my shame. I'm laying them down for joy of the Lord. I'm trading my struck down but not destroyed. I am blessed beyond the curse, for its promise will endure. The joy's gonna be my strength. Though the sorrow may last for the night, the joy comes with the morning. I'm trading my sorrow, I'm trading my shame. I'm laying them down, the joy of the Lord. I'm trading my sickness, I'm trading my pain. I'm laying them down for the joy of the Lord. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, 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 Lord. Amen.
Love that enthusiasm. Yes. Great to have you all back in chapel again to hear that singing together. All right. We have announcements. There we go. Okay. So we had our student artwork that has been on the Westchester Triangle. So please check it out. It's really kind of exciting to have your works represented there and to be able to see it. It's kind of cool. So snaps to all of our young budding artists that have their work on display right here in Westchester for the whole community to see. I'm very proud of you. I think that's great. Confirmation classes are starting up soon. It's on Wednesday evenings. So that's for 6th grade and above. It's your chance to pick Pastor Larry's brain and learn about a few things that maybe you, or to think a different way, see what our faith says and what you think in your own journey and to share that time and to learn about Christ in that way. I think it's a great opportunity to prepare yourself to declare your faith. So also, as you see, we have a little bit of our palace in front of us today. So we are going to be building upon that and present to you Aladdin in just another couple of weeks. So thank you for your support for that. Come and check it out. It should be kind of fun. People have been working very, very hard, and I'm very proud of our team as well that have been working very hard to make this happen. So anyway, if that is it for announcements, I think we're going to dismiss you, and then we will go on. Middle school, just stay for just a couple minutes, and I think everybody else have a great week.